So I got 7 poems for you. They're all about my two special needs teenagers. The first one's called Buddy the Elf is acting like an autistic person, my son says with a laugh. About the North Pole, I know next to nothing. Only that it's covered by snow that somehow survives its 10,000-foot fall from the troposphere. And these teens next to me seem just as remote at times as that magic place. Buddy just tried to hug a raccoon, waved at a man hailing a cab, sprayed cologne into his mouth. And I get why James Caan, playing Buddy's dad, Walter Hobbs, acts impatient when Buddy says, "I love snow," for the 15th time in a day, and when Buddy eats cotton balls at the doctor's office. I feel like a cotton-headed ninny-muggins, like an elf pretending to be a grown man, when my son turns the conversation once again to a recitation of states and cities. Wow, Nevada, and I know about Reno. I hate myself for getting bored, wanting to have a normal conversation. My son treats every day like Christmas, while his sister, who would rather watch 50 First Dates for the 50th time, looks sullen and glum as the increased dose of Zoloft tries to chase the sadness out of her face. We adopted our daughter at age 16 and a half, so I know how Papa Elf, played by Bob Newhart, feels, dwarfed by the human child in his lap. I wonder if her inner life will ever stop, seeming as mysterious as the neutrinos and muons that we breathe but never see. When she says, matter-of-factly, that her birth mom sold her bike to buy heroin, we buy her a bike. When she says she misses her Barbies, we buy her a dream house. My kids need me to act like the dad they need. But this is no movie. I'm no James Caan or Bob Newhart. I feel like a deaf man who needs to make music, but I'm no Beethoven, his loving gaze grabbing at birds he can't hear. It's so soft and pretty, the snow, but so stingingly cold, too. I don't feel like a warm, sturdy shelter, though I act like one. I feel like a snow fort sheltering a snowman named Do You Know What Will Become of Me, and a snow woman named Do You Understand All That's Happened to Me? And as the sunlight spears me, I can only think one word, and that's no. And this is the last time I took my son to the movies. We saw Wonder, the story of a boy named Augie with a facial deformity caused by Treacher-Collins syndrome, who gets bullied until the other kids get used to his face and learn to see past it into his beautiful, true self. My son started talking too loud. I knew his whole script. Our car has 162,900 miles on it. I've saved $304. I'm buying a leaf blower, some extension cords, some button-down shirts. They're remodeling my high school. They're putting in straight halls because people get lost in the circular halls. They should study the interactive map like I do. How long will this movie take? The man in front of my son turned and said, "Shut up." My son's face reddened. He rocked back and forth, said, "You shut up, I'll call the police on you," as the man tried to lock eyes with him. I leaned forward and said, "Turn around, man." The man and I locked eyes with the fiercest looks we could muster. This lasted forever, a minute maybe. We locked eyes for so long that my mind wandered. Will Augie make friends? What is making that squeaking sound in my Toyota? Should I take it to a mechanic? Who was AC/DC singer before Bon Scott? The man pointed it at my son and said, "One more time." I said, "Let's go right now." And he finally turned back to the screen where Augie's dad was telling him to take off his space helmet and face the other children staring at his face. 10 minutes later, my son was still upset, saying, "I'll wreck you, and you don't do that." The man turned again. I leaned forward again and said, "Look, my son has special needs. Do you understand that we're watching a movie about accepting people with special needs?" And my son said, "I have autism." The man said, "Okay, you should have said so before." And he was right. He and his daughter found other seats. By the end of the movie, I felt bad for the man. He didn't know about my son's inner battles, and we don't know what he lives with. Maybe his father had just died, like Malcolm Young at age 64, unable to remember the songs of his own heart. Maybe he just lost his job and wondered when he could afford to take his daughter to the movies again. I wanted to take him out for a beer. I would have listened to him talk about his father and his daughter. I would have tried to help him find a job. But after the movie, I couldn't find that man among the faces adjusting to the lights coming on. Adopting a teenager via state foster care. We want a daughter, we say. We have a girl, say the ladies with clipboards. She's about to be hit by a bus. She's been in many wrecks. She's always got a break or a bruise. She's about to be hit by a bus, we echo. The ladies with clipboards point at a teen girl, arms outstretched toward an advancing bus. We run to her. We wrap ourselves around her. We can't stop the bus. It hits all three of us. We wake in the hospital. We're your parents now, we smile. I hate you, she says. That bus was my boyfriend. He buys me stuffed animals. He says he loves me and would never hurt me. He photoshopped our faces over a bride and groom, and he'll be sneaking in my bedroom window at night. We've got ourselves a daughter, we say. To mellow his meltdowns. Our son twists his face into the panicked look you might get right before a car crash as he stomps his foot and says, your mom's gonna get raped and you're gonna cry, and we wonder where he heard that. His behavior has told us to whisk him off to his room to mellow his meltdown, so I say, let's go, buddy. But he screams, no, I don't have to deal with this crap, and we wish he didn't. He calls himself a jerk, slaps himself hard, and my cheek stings red because my son's autism is mine. When my wife says, calm down, he curses us until we both feel goddamned. His words repel from my ears into my throat, and I can feel that for him, trying to keep silent right now is like trying not to cough when the need rises from your chest and tickles your throat. He curses the whirling chaos of his world, slaps his own face, and his mom and I worry about what happens next year when he gets his driver's license, if his taillight goes out and the blue cop light swirls in his eyes and the siren rings in his ears and the officer says, put your hands up, and our son reaches for his ID in his Batman wallet, swaying, cursing at the officer who doesn't know that this boy has bought 15 extension cords of all colors and sizes that YouTube taught him to tie into daisy chains, that he knows he owns 93 shirts and can tell you there are 99 days until his birthday, then he's memorized the height and weight of every president, watches Elf once a week, and just needs to calm down in his room with Johnny Thunders or Joey Ramone soothing him through speakers. And what if the cop, hand on holster, says, calm down, control yourself, show me your hands, now show me your hands. So this is the title poem currently of my selected poems, just coming out in February 2021. It's called What Feels Like Love. What if I could bottle my daughter's joy at the Bruno Mars concert as he gleamed? I love this song. Sorry, let's start over. What if I could bottle my daughter's joy at the Bruno Mars concert as she gleamed? I love this song as he sang. Although it hurts, I'll be the first to say I was wrong. From her favorite song, except for The Girl Is Mine, Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney, and Pop Tug-of-War. Adoptions means the girl is mine, so when a dirt boy asks her to penetrate herself with a pencil while he watches on Skype, I hiss at him like a rabid raccoon and his family moves out of town. When another dirt boy talks her into photographing herself topless before a mirror and putting it on Snapchat, I say, you don't have to be nice to people who aren't nice to you. And she says, Dad, he said, please, that's being nice, isn't it? And I can't even sleep for a year without pills. What feels like love is often a lie a boy tells, a lie you need to learn to smell. Be mine, I say. A father is a magic mirror that shows you your beautiful true self. I've never had a daughter before, but I've had sons, changed diapers, coached t-ball, soccer, basketball, football, tennis. Her mom and I wanted her the way sunlight and water want grass. When she says she won't live without some dirt boy, I feel like a gimpy superhero, flying but not fast enough to protect her from her own dumb heart. A father is a tree that hangs onto its leaves as long as possible, holds them high as they turn beautiful colors. Dad, 2 boys beat each other bloody over me, and the one I like got detention, she said, beaming like she got 100% on a test. And another time, Dad, a new boy has a crush on me, and I had to ask, does he have a crush, sweetie, or did he hear you'll have sex without even a movie date first? The girl is mine, 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 0 degrees outside, icy 5:30 a.m. I see a boy bicycling out of our driveway. He lives across town. I knew he would do that for me, she says. What feels like love is abuse when a boy talks her into giving him all her passwords to prove she's not cheating. A father is a parachute that lands you safe as raindrops on a lake. Adoption means the girl is mine, be mine, a gold mine, a treasure. Be mine because I cry when you cry. Be mine because I fear for you when you don't have the sense to fear for yourself. What feels like a punch in the nuts is really love when you love a girl who doesn't know yet how to love herself. 2 more. This is called What She Said. My son has fallen in love with King of the Hill. Hank sells propane and propane accessories, he tells me, for the 100th time this week. I laugh like it's the first time, say, yep. Tip back an imaginary Alamo beer. You sell poetry and poetry accessories, he says, and I laugh for real. And people with no sense say people on the spectrum have no sense of humor. He's having more trouble with, that's what she said. How was school today? That's what she said. Have you fed the dog? That's what she said. For some reason, this upsets me. I tell him it's only funny in context. I show him the episode where Ben Stiller guest stars as the voice of Rich, a new Strickland propane employee with a potty mouth. I need an 8-inch L pipe. That's what she said. I hope this drill has enough juice for the job. That's what she said. My son gives me the same lost look my college freshmen get when we come to the lines like making the beast with 2 backs. I collect myself. Son, I say, I don't care if you never understand body humor or why I like metaphors so much. You were the one program I could watch all day without changing the channel. I just want you to be happy in this life. That's what she said, he says, tilting his head in his mother's direction. Prayer asking for patience and compassion. Remember all those profiles of teen girls in foster care, how we grieved that we could only bring one home? Remember those girls, Lord, how the social workers advised. This one bit her foster siblings and is on lockdown. This one lit a firecracker under a sleeping cat and will soon age out of the system. This one has falsely accused men and boys in 3 foster homes and will ruin your reputation. And this one, the one who joined our family, thank you, Lord, ate shoplifted groceries with her siblings as their birth mother nodded off under the spell of heroin, and both men in her home were unregistered sex offenders. When she confessed to sneaking onto our computer at night, encouraging some boy to send dick pics to her secret social media page, how I raged, angry at him, afraid for her. Lord, only you know how many men and boys have shown her their ugly sides. Composing myself, I told her never to send pictures of her body, but if she did, never to include her face, because porn is a thing and revenge porn is also a thing. Thank you for keeping her off drugs. But help me to see her as myself at that age, trembling in the county detox ward, waiting for a room to open up in a rehab center, and help me be like the junkie I met there who said, hey, I only have 1 cigarette. It's really all I have, but why don't you take it?